I want to talk for a little bit today about loving our pain and feeling love for the things that happen to us, the mistakes we make, the trauma that we go through, the sadness or depression or loneliness that we're facing at any given time. We're going through very um, changeable times, and we're all being asked to evolve, and evolving is not always easy. It can be very tricky sometimes, and as we change, we can call these birthing pains or growing pains. It is a little bit painful. It is a little bit like being, as I like to say, squashed through the cosmic plug hole, and that is a likening to the birth process, what happens to us physically. So, I wanted to talk about a way that we can lighten this load for ourselves, because really most of the struggles that we go through in our life are internal and really about what's going on inside of us. So, how we can manage that process ourselves and how we can get better at looking after ourselves as we go through these changing times. So, loving our pain, it sounds like a sort of crazy, far out thing to do, but it's actually something that can really lighten what we're going through. And so, first of all, we should talk about what we mean by love. We mean expressing a quality of concern or compassion, understanding, and care. And we should talk about pain. What do we mean when we say pain? We're talking about the negative emotional aspects that occur within our psyche and within even our physical body as well. So, expressing concern and love, just holding space for the pain that we have. So let's say you've just broken up with someone, finding a time to just think about how you're feeling about that. Emotionally, you're feeling lonely. You might be suffering, some kind of trauma or devastation even about this breakup. It could be really affecting you. And a breakup does. It really affects you in your heart chakra, the emotions. Often we want to cry a lot. Often the person we want to share all these emotions with is the person we just broke up with. And so getting into new habits, forming new habits about who to share our emotional world with can be quite difficult. So finding that time and that space just to connect with that hurt and to look at that hurt from outside of ourselves. So come outside the hurt and the pain and look at it compassionately as a loving parent would, and hold that pain, hold a space for that pain, and hold it in front of you and love it. Love what it's teaching you. Thank it, even if you can find that space within you. Thanking the pain for being there and for showing you that you're human and that you care and that you have emotions and that there's something special and magical occurring when we have emotions. The emotions are telling us things about us and our psyche, and they're indicating a development is occurring because we've seen that something different can happen. So an emotion after a breakup is a very lonely time. Often we can be surrounded by people but still be feeling lonely, and holding that loneliness, holding the space for it and loving it and telling it it's okay to feel that way. This is normal. And not only is it normal, but it's acceptable and it's part of growing and part of who we are, and loving that, loving it with all your heart. And this can also be an exercise that we can use when we're going through physical pain. Let's say we've been diagnosed with some kind of disease or disorder. We can sit and love that pain, and physically we can address our consciousness to wherever we're feeling that physical indication on our bodies. We can send our love to that spot and we can love it. Love the pain, love it, just send it love. And what we're doing here is we're changing the frequency around these emotions and around this pain that we're feeling. And what this does is it helps to transform our own consciousness and our own response to this issue that's occurring in our lives. And that can be very, very powerful. What it allows us to do is to create a new neural pathway, a new biophysical reaction to what's occurring to us, and a very nurturing space. Often we seek to be nurtured from an outside being, And this can be really useful. I mean, obviously, healing is a useful thing. Nurturing is something that we all require, but we also need to learn how to do it for ourselves and to nurture and love ourselves. And so, this steps us forward into a path of self care. And especially if we're not used to doing this, if we're not trained or if we haven't been taught, often we just don't know things because we haven't had anyone to teach us. So this is a wonderful process of engaging a pathway to begin to look after yourself in self-care, to nurture and love yourself with whatever you're going through. And this helps to shift our consciousness and to elevate ourselves and to help us see that we're all connected, and each person's pain is something that should be looked after and should be loved. And once we start to love ourselves and our own pain and our own physical issues, we can understand and we have compassion for other people and their pain. And we see that this is a part of the human condition, and our hearts open up. Our heart field is hugely expanded by engaging in loving our pain. So I would like to leave this thought with you today in love and light. May it find you well. Bye.